Okay, this is how I carry my Ruger 308 18-inch bolt-action rifle if it's in the car. What I'll typically do is I'll pocket one of these. This is a 4-round holder here, so I'll grab one of these. And then one of these right here could be worn on your belt. There's 14 rounds of 308 in here. But if you don't wear it on your belt, what you could do is tie paracord to it so you can use it as a necklace. And the reason why I got it this way is because I have a couple choices. I can either wear it on my belt. If I'm not wearing it on my belt, I can make a necklace out of it so that if I need more rounds, I can just open this up. And of course, the other thing you guys could do is have loose rounds in your pocket, and you want to practice loading loose rounds quickly into this rifle and shooting, because loading single rounds is very important, because if you don't have magazines, then you're pretty much have to load singly, so you have to train yourself on that on the range also. So the reason why I keep the ammunition out of the rifle is because there could be some issues with that with the police or whatever. But here it's inside the gun case, and I've got it set up in a unique way here. When I pull it out, let me put the camera down just for a second. When I pull the rifle out, I have part of the zipper unzipped so that I can just pull it straight out. I can pull the rifle straight out, and I could take this rubber piece off, but I don't. That's a dot sight. So what I do is I pull it out like this, and then the bolt is back, so that you can kind of call it kind of like cruiser ready police, I guess, if you want to call it. But cruiser ready police would be if I actually had the ammunition in the rifle, and then all I have to do is bring the bolt forward on the bolt action rifle here. Now that's what they do with the M4s and the AR-15s, and I have one of them, but I'm just saying that it kind of looks like cruiser ready in a way, but the ammunition is going to be in my pocket. So this is going to be in my pocket or my jacket, and that is going to be in my pocket or jacket. And then obviously you got loose rounds you can carry. So I pulled the gun out, and obviously you can see I took the ammunition off here too. So let's say I'm in a deadly situation where I need this rifle. What I would do is I would pull it out and take off this rubber piece. I know some people are saying just leave it off so that, because seconds matter, and that is true in some ways, but I decided to leave the rubber piece on. So I'm going to pull that sucker out, take off the rubber piece, push the bolt forward with a round chambered, okay, and I'm ready to go. But here's the other thing. Even if I do have the rubber over the optic, there's 3 ways I can aim this rifle. I can practice aiming the rifle off just the rubber part that's covering the optic, and I have done that out to 25 yards, so I know where to aim if I'm holding on top of here. So let's say I couldn't get the rubber piece off. It's easy to get off, but let's just say I couldn't get it off. I could still use the top of this to aim because I practice aiming with that. And here's the other thing. If the optic fails, like the light, if the optic fails, the light that's inside it, I also practice aiming in the center of the optic, even if there's no red dot or anything. I look through the glass, and whatever's in the center of the optic, that's my aim point, and I practice that too. So you want to practice them 3 things. You want to practice it all the way on. You want to practice it off with the light turned off, okay, and then obviously with the dot turned on. So you always want to prepare for the worst case scenario. So if optics fail, you've always got the top of this. You can aim with the top of this. And this probably isn't going to be used any further than probably 25 yards. This is an extreme scenario, road rage or something like that. Even though I believe in getting away, de-escalating and stuff like that, if you got trapped or cornered somewhere, or if law enforcement got cornered or trapped or something on a private road and they're getting gunned down or something like that, you happen to be in the area, you could help save somebody's life with this rifle. This is a 308, so the average 308 round has double the energy of an AR-15 and double the explosiveness because of the fact that you got 95 VMAX rounds that they explode, but they don't over penetrate and stuff like that. But also, I've got 150 grain FMJs. That's what I use with this. And then I have some extra different rounds that I carry with me as well. So an extreme situation, extreme scenario, this is going to chew through car bodies and small branches and whatever's in your way. So I chose this for my car carry for kind of like an emergency response rifle. And a lot of guys are saying, well, why don't you just have an AR-15 with 30 round mags? Yeah, you could do that too. But I feel that in my situations in the rural areas and stuff like that, if I have plenty of ammunition, I'm pretty much going to get myself out of trouble with this. Now, in an urban area, would I use this? Probably not. It's my pistol. But I'm just saying that there's always a place for a bolt action rifle. Just because this rifle doesn't spit out a bunch of rounds quickly, it doesn't mean it's not useful for defense as far as having one in your vehicle. What really counts is your tactics and your shot placement and stuff like that. And once again, this here, I can choose my ammunition according to the situation that I'm in. If I need something that's going to chew through steel, wood, or something like that, I've got rounds for that. But then I've also got rounds that are not over penetrating. Varmint rounds and stuff. And they do have varmint rounds for the .308 Winchester. They have the 90, what is it? No, it's 110 grain, excuse me. I said 95 grain before. That's the 6.5 Creedmoor. 110 grain VMAX, and then you have the 130 grain jacketed hollow point, which is really, really devastating. And that 130 grain, a lot of the bullet keeps on going because it's got that weight to it. It's not to say that the 110 isn't bad, but you got the 130 grain, which is better, and then you got the 110 grain VMAX with the orange tip on it. So the 130 grain jacketed hollow point is pretty much just looks like a regular rifle round, but obviously it's got a hollow point. And for a .308, if you look at the hollow point on the end, it's pretty big, for comparing it to other hollow points like you see like on a 22 250 or a 223 hollow point round. It's got a pretty big hollow point on it. So, and the thing is that it doesn't necessarily need to be a hollow point, but the hollow points limit penetration. And the 130 grain, although it's limited penetration, the 110 grain would probably be much better for limited penetration and stuff like that. So there might be a case where you need some of the limited penetration rounds, and then there might be a case where you need something that's going to chew through steel and other stuff like that, like copper. I've got some copper rounds for this, and I've got some full metal jackets for this. But once again, I'm saying extreme case scenario, in case you had to protect yourself or an officer's life or something where there's a really bad thing going. Now, a lot of you guys know that there was an incident in Kentucky where this guy was shooting at people from the highway, okay? That's a perfect example right there. I mean, if you were in your car and you got hit or something like that, and let's say that, you had to pull over for some reason, not to say that you should, but you would want to keep on going anyway. But if you found yourself in a situation where you know where the shooter was and you know where the gunfire was coming from, you could protect yourself and other people. But once again, the most important thing is de-escalation. The only exception to the rule is if you're taking incoming fire. If you're taking incoming fire, then you can return fire. So a lot of people are saying, well, just hit the gas and get out of there. Yeah, that's true. But there might be a situation where that ain't going to work. And especially if you know where the person is, then you can engage that person and hopefully save some lives and stuff like that. I'm sure any officer would say, if he's doing a routine stop and he gets ambushed or something like that, I'm sure he would say that he would like some help, okay? So that's where this comes in. You got good firepower and you can protect yourself, you can protect other people. And if you have an extreme situation where, let's say, there's a mass shooting event or something like that, and you happen to be in the area, a 308 with a dot sight, I mean, you got some power there. You know, you'd probably want to be using the 110 grain VMAX for limited penetration and limited collateral damage anyway. But these are just some of my perspectives. Everybody's got different perspectives and different ways of doing things. And it depends on how you carry. Like, for instance, I wear a tactical vest a lot throughout the whole year. So I'm able to carry rounds on me in my tactical vest, or like I was saying, in my pocket. So there's a lot of ways you can do these things. But one of the things I know about ammo is ammo, you always want ammo to be able to be not, or to be able to be with you and not separate from you. So that's the whole reason for the necklace idea, is if you just had that pouch and you dropped it or something, you know what I mean? So you got a paracord on there, so you can just throw that around your neck and you can engage a threat and have 14 rounds that, you know, that unload on you. And in order, I'll show you, they kind of come out like this. So it'll be hanging there from your chest and you can just grab one at a time or whatever. But anyway, I might change my video, I might change my ideas, but I'm kind of new to the idea of carrying a rifle inside a vehicle instead of an AR-15. So I think my pistols will do just fine for my certain situations in my area and stuff like that, whereas you might feel that you need something else. So I'm confident with this. I train with it, and it is kind of expensive sometimes, but if I can find 150 grain full metal jackets for $30, I'll take a box and I'll go train with it. Make sure I'm proficient as far as kneeling, prone, standing, laying, all kinds of positions and stuff like that. I practice everything with this rifle, even practice close-up stuff, like as if I'm going to use it as a pistol. So that's what matters, is training. So if you have good training, situational awareness, you can use this tool to get the job done to protect yourself and other people. But anyway, I chose to, you know, pretty much carry with no ammunition and just pop in a 4-round magazine right here. And like I said, this will probably be in my pocket somewhere. So I slap it in, pull the bolt or push the bolt forward, and I'm all good to go. But before that, obviously, you'd be using your pistol to give you some distance, or to, you know, stir up things enough where you can get to your rifle. So your pistol is something that can help you get to your rifle, is what I'm saying. So, and I know it's kind of hard to see this rifle because of the shade. You know, you got some shade and stuff like that. So I'll show you a little bit here. But yeah, this thing's only like 4 pounds, I think. And it's 18 inches. It's really lightweight and just a handy little bolt action rifle made by Ruger. It's a Ruger American, nothing fancy now, with the rail on it already ready to go. And the optic here, I got one of the cheapest optics I can find, because I can do fine out to 100 yards with it. So I don't care that it only costs $79. So, and I watch it, you know, I watch the zero, I watch everything, and make sure that this is always ready to go for any kind of combat that's needed. So, but anyway, thanks for watching the video, you guys.